Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakakadash, the bonus to the apostles and elders, going on the wall, and Shalom to the brothers to know Syrian truth. Um, yeah, you got this, Europe again, basically going back into, the lockdowns coming back, and it's that term winter of discontent, which, has been flying around for the longest. Obviously, it's in the title as well. Yeah, it's that time, man, and shit's picking back up, and it's funny because the whole point of everyone, getting a yab is meant to just be like, oh, you get it, and then there's no issues, there's no problems, everything runs smooth after, but evidently they ain't fucking what's going down. So it says Euro winter of sea discontent. Yeah, now it's before it was winter of discontent. Now it's the sea discontent. Now Germany bans Anya people from restaurants as continent goes on red alert for Christmas lockdowns. French protests against further restrictions, and Belgium's orders to work from home. The French protests like they breathe, man. So it's getting anything on them, man, is gonna be. Because they said they demonstrated against Austria. I ain't even doing it for them, sir. Because then they might, anyway, Macron's gonna do what Macron's gonna do. So it says Germany, okay, let me just skip down. So it says Germany is already following Austria's example in locking down the unvaccinated people in regions where hospitals are becoming dangerously full of C patients. Chancellor Angela Merkel yesterday announced that the move is necessary to tackle a very worrying fourth wave of the pandemic that is overwhelming hospitals, and blame the unyabbed for driving the surge. Which is funny because a lot of the people that are getting that are going back in, they already got their shots, man. So it says Europe has become the epicenter of the pandemic once again, with the WHO warning that the continent was the only region in the world where deaths had increased, as sea-related fatality spiked by 5% just this week. Vienna imposed a lockdown on unvaccinated people. However, pressure on the Austrian government to impose a full lockdown grew as its worst hit provinces said they would adopt the measure for themselves amid rising cases and reports of people dying in corridors. Yeah, it's what it's like, bro. They're this, regardless of what's actually happening, these guys can just push out whatever they desire through these means, and it's obviously it's about keeping the minds of the people where they're just thinking like, hey, you're a stone's throw away from everything around you crumbling and everything coming to naught, and it's just insanity is just is around the corner, man. You need to comply or it's all gonna go to shit. And it's like but then yeah, it's and that's how people are looking at it. Because as far as for the vast, and that's the thing is, every stage there's been, okay, so just socially distance and wear your mask. Okay, well, just stay at home, work from home. Okay, just just don't go out. Just go out once. You got once a day, and when you're going for shopping, or just okay, well, do all these different There's always some solution, and no solution seems to be working. But then and they said like, oh yeah, we're not going to go back into lockdowns. Everything's solved now. We got the Yab, and then surprise, surprise, it's not it didn't mean shit. Increases, okay, because it's about it's about control. It's about the elites basically hammering away the willpower of the people, and then on top of that, just men are gonna be broken and ready to receive the mark, the charagma. In places in Germany where hospitalization rates exceed a certain threshold, access to public and cultural sports events and to restaurants will be restricted to those who have been yabbed or who have recovered. Which is funny as hell, because it's like, yeah, that's then well, okay, because well, okay. So the Chancellor added the federal government would also consider a request by regional governments for legislation allowing them to require that care and hospital workers be yabbed. So yeah, it's about pushing compliance, and that's been the same thing in the US, same thing they did in Australia, where they'll just be like, okay, we're just gonna batter the people and get them to comply, and it works. You said in what was it, Denmark? Man was saying those fucking prostitutes. if you get your yab, like what the hell is going on? Like, bruv, when saying like, oh, you need to get BCG, you need to get whatever, they weren't saying, okay, yeah, we've got a chick here to suck your dick whilst you get, just so you get it. That's how that's how wild it is, man. It's just like, bruv, these men are moving absolutely mad, but people aren't even realizing like the scale to which this how far people have really pushed the envelope. Says in Saxony, the region hardest hit by the wave, is considering shutting theatres, concert halls, and soccer games. Bild newspaper reported the eastern state has Germany's lowest rate. New daily cases have risen 14-fold in the past month in Saxony, a stronghold of the far-right Alternative for Germany party, which harbours many skeptics and anti-lockdown protesters. So yeah, it's more just about wearing them down than anything else. It says in a show of unity, Finance Minister and Chancellor in waiting Olaf Scholz said, so Thingy and Wayne, oh, is he the guy that's going to take over? I was thinking, I swear, what's her name, lost. Okay, across the border, hundreds of French protesters demonstrated against the Austrian embassy in Paris against Vienna's sea apartheid amid fears that France might be next to reimpose curbs. The Czech Republic has already followed Austria's lead by banning unyabbed people from access to public events, bars and restaurants from next week. And Slovakia is also considering imposing a similar measure which would see unyabbed people banned from non-essential stores, shopping malls, gyms, pools, hotels, and mass gatherings for at least 3 weeks after recording 8,000 daily cases. Earlier this week, Belgium made face masks compulsory and introduced working from home instructions as Europe braced for Christmas under lockdown. Yeah, I remember last year they said like, oh yeah, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna be able to loose it up for Christmas, and they're just like, no, all that got thrown in the bin. Everyone's all depressed, man. Everyone's upset. They didn't get to see their parents, didn't get to enjoy, their high holy day. That's why it's like that the threat of that hanging over people. People are gonna get rabid, man. Just say, just do it. Just get what you need. Why are you doing this to us? It's your fault. I'm like, bruh, like, don't you realize that the shit ain't like whatever it is you've been told is a lie, man. You complied, and it's not resulted in the you know the solution that you desire, man. And that's really what it's gonna be. It's like, is anything ever gonna be good enough? No, it never will. Liberté. You enjoy losing it, mate. The French Nationalist Party. Liberté. Yeah, man. Enjoy losing it. Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time shall thy people be delivered. Well, there'll be that time of trouble, such as never was. That's what's getting ready to go down. That's the thing. This is why it's like you ain't even seen something on the scale of C19. This going back even like fucking a century and whatnot. Like the level of response that that they're getting as far as how much they're able to push out to push through off the back of this is kind of hilarious, because you go back, it would have just been like, it would have been anything, man would have just been like, okay, yeah, wipe your nose and then blah 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 whatever. But then what people are done, and it's like with social media, with the news, with whatever, global news reporting, these guys are able to just make it and be like, okay, yeah. It seemed like just for months, all you're hearing is, oh, okay, this country's getting fucked. Okay, now this country's getting fucked. Okay, now this is fucked. Now this region's getting fucked. Meanwhile, you're just sitting there in your bedroom, whilst it feels like the world's falling down. But when it's actually gonna get to the point where that's how it's gonna be. What you're gonna have is complete and total madness and anarchy going down all over. Because it's going to be that time of trouble, man, where all the prophecies being fulfilled. Lord's basically opened up the winds of destruction. World War III is going to be popping off. The monetary system is going to be done. It's going to crash. It's going to be out the window. Like, it's going to be a madness. Found written in the book. Okay. So it says, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Yeah, and those the elect, they're going to be delivered. Because outside, if your name's not in the book, it's peak, man. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise, yeah, we can have those that wake up to get rolled out for the word. The basically trusted in Yahushua onto the end. And then you're gonna have those that basically were just like, yo, they were down with Esau, man. They were down for the system. And they're gonna wait to that shame, man. This is what they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Yeah. The book was sealed until what? Until the time of the end. Until now. And it's like prophecies where the men that brought out the prophecies didn't even understand what they were, what they were prophesying. They didn't understand the fullness of it. even when they had it broken down to them. Now we're in a time where the fullness is being understood. We understand, what the European Union is, what NATO is, what an ICBM is, what a free stage rocket is, the USSR, Russia, China, and and America, man. These things that they're not written as such in the book. Now we understand, so we can see what's getting ready to go. We know what the plans of the elites are. You go to Psalm 64, goes into what these guys are trying to achieve, man, and how these guys move in the dark, how their plans aren't known to the average observer, man. They're looking at the world just like, they're thinking, Tony Blair and George W. Bush. These are the guys that are decision makers when, these guys follow instructions. But yeah, it's very, more pressure is gonna come. But hey, yeah, it's gonna get peak, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. So yeah, all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua Hashem, Kakdash. Don't want to see Apostle Elders going to man. Shalom, shalom.